controller that's black and white.
With I've heard rumors that there's a touch screen on there, but again, we don't know. They're just in the conceptual stages right now, talking to the people who design it.
The screen on the controller is from the fucking Dreamcast, okay? Do you understand how much shit people are taking from the Dreamcast and putting... No! Look at the damn... the design for the 360 controller. It looks like a Dreamcast controller slightly. More so the original Xbox than this one. But Dreamcast, people! Bring it back!
Dreamcast had a lot of nice things. We'll agree with that.
Bring it back!
Maybe Sonic Adventure 2 will... HD will sate your thirst. Because that is going to happen.
Sonic Adventure was a little too linear for me. Sonic Adventure 2 was a little too linear for me. But yeah.
So the Ouya, great piece of kit, could be great, could be awful. If you want to give the money, go for it. I won't. I will sit back and wait till it actually comes out and then worry about finding it.
It's only $99.
Yeah, it's only...
I will keep watching it to see if it comes out.
It'd be great if it did. I mean, it's another nice piece of kit. Even if it's just a nice piece of kit for just, say, emulation purposes. It's a box for emulation. There's reasons for that to exist.
Well, see, the Dreamcast was an emulator itself. It could emulate any Sega system. So, again, I have to go back to the Dreamcast was the perfect system!
But it killed Sega. Or should we say the PlayStation 2 killed them?
The Dreamcast was better!
Yes, it was, but, yeah, things happen.
The next topic I had, which is really just more of a thing I've been wondering about for such a long time, is I remember back in the day saving up for like $30, maybe $20 to get a new game. Nowadays they're $60. Their price has doubled in like...
Not really. I mean, games used to be $50, $60.
Yeah, and then...
They still used to be.
Down a bit.
They used to... you and I remember... Because I remember that too. We remember the games that had been on the shelves a while.
That's probably it.
They'd come down in price. They weren't new anymore. I remember a $40 game that I really wanted to get for my Game Boy. I believe it was...
It'd take like a week for it to go down in price.
Some games still do that. Some games still do that. Games that don't sell well get discounted fast. If it sells well, it will maintain its price. I mean, that's just how economics is.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's some like slight related to it. Is what was it, GameStop?
Yes.
Only give you like what, $9 total for games you trade in.
It depends on the game, but more often than not, you're getting not much.
What the fuck, dude?
Well,
it doesn't make sense to me at all, because even if someone bought the game like the day before and beat it, like my friend did when what was it, Homefront came out? Mm-hmm. He beat that game that night as a short ass game.
Yes, it was.
Tried to take it back and return it, and he couldn't.
Right.
And he bought it on launch night, and it was like, ah. And then when he was there, he saw a used copy of it for $30. What the fuck?
Well, that's how GameStop keeps itself around. They don't. You make very paper-thin margins on video games. I mean, you're talking less than 1% profit on a brand new video game.
Their own Android thing?
Yes, they have a tablet, and I know nothing about it. I'm not concerned in the slightest. But yeah, but that's how they keep themselves around. They do it through used game sales, which, trust me, I found some good deals over there. I found Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance.
There's so many old games you can only find on GameStop.
Mm-hmm. That's how they keep themselves around, is by accessories, by used game sales. They can't make a lot on just video games themselves.
Yeah, at the same time, it's pricing of games and how some people are selling games just doesn't quite make sense to me. I don't know if it's everybody else, but to me it's like Steam, I think, is the best, because they'll have random sales, like Midweek Madness, where they have a game on sale, or Weekend Madness, where they have games on sale, and during the summers and during not Christmas, that's politically incorrect, during the holiday season.
It's Christmas.
The holiday season, they have holiday sales where they'll at certain times put games up on sales for X amount off for a certain amount of time, and they'll do it for like a week or stuff. That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense to me. But the way GameStop does it is, you take in a game, and if you just want to buy one game, you'll probably have to take in like 5 games maybe to pay for half a game.
See, I took in, I'm thinking my last trade-in was for Black Ops, and don't ask me why I traded in. I traded in some good games for Black Ops, which I never really played Black Ops a lot anyway. I took in 3 games and basically paid for Black Ops, but then again, they were very games that held their value, like Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. That was a $15 value to them. They're still selling used copies for $35. So there are games that are expensive, but they're not common.
But even, where is it? Don't tell me I'm lucky enough to have lost it.
Oh great, lucky enough. Just what we need. Lucky enough to lose something. That's joyous.
It is the thing with me, I won't trade games. I won't.
I stopped after that point.
But I can't turn in games. But even, I would rather give my game to somebody else than trade it in. Not only for the fact that I like having a game collection, but for the fact that there doesn't seem the point in trading a game if I'm not going to get even a fraction, even like a quarter of what I paid for it back.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just give it away. Like with my Nightmare Before Christmas, Iggy's Revenge. That's a crappy game. I played through it twice. Still a crappy game. But I would much rather. I said it like in the end of all my videos. I'll give that game away to anybody who wants it. I'd much rather give that game away than to trade it in and not get any money back, because I mean, it's money back, but it's not money back that's going to be enough to buy a new game, pay for half of a new game, pay for the bus fare to go home, pay for a chili cheese dog. They're not giving you enough. Like, I understand they can only give you so much because they have to keep themselves open, and they're trying to do so many things to make sure to get them keep their business booming. But it just doesn't make sense to me why they give you so little. And at the same note on GameStop, so many game companies want them gone.
Oh yeah, they because of the used sales, it's because a game sold at GameStop might have 3 owners. The first owner who initially buys it, and the publisher and developers get money off of it. The guy who buys the used copy that the guy hands it, turns back in, they don't get a cut of that. So that's money that's purely in GameStop's hands. No developers, no publishers, no one knows that happens. And so he trades it in because he didn't like it, and the third person picks it up. And again, no money trades hands but the person and GameStop. The developer and publisher, they get no money from that. They don't get any rewards from used sales. They never have. I
understand that.
They never have.
At the same time, they've said, like, for the 720 and or the PS4s 1-2, they're not going to be able to play used games, and I think that was
a rumor for the 720. More than likely, if anything should happen as a result of that, it should be more similar to the way Mass Effect 2 does it, which is the Cerberus Pass, which is only a small section of the game that you have to buy an access for through the developer.
Yeah.
Which is a $10 thing, and if you buy the game for like $30, you pay $40 overall, and you get a great game. And Madden had one of those too, but I don't remember which Madden.
I'd say that's a better thing to do rather than not let a console play a used game.
Yes, that's much better.
Because not everybody can afford a new game.
No.
And there are some people who like go to the store and like, oh, this is an interesting game, and then they'll play it, and then they'll instantly get hooked on the franchise, and then they'll buy the new games from that franchise. Like, for example, when I was probably like 13, 14, went to GameStop and I had a few dollars spare, so I bought 3 games for the Game Boy Advance. One Lady whatever, I don't remember, and Breath of Fire 2. I instantly fell in love with the Breath of Fire series. I played through them all. I've paid for 3 of them. I can't find the other 2 because they're PlayStation-only games, but they are on the PS3. I have to buy a new one for that. But that's the thing is, used games give people a chance to learn about a franchise or a company or whatever and play those games, which will ultimately bring them more money in the end as long as they're willing to pay for those games. Like, another example is the Tales of series, if you know what that is.
Yes, the Tales series, yes.
Those weren't coming here for a long time because the sales here weren't that great. But with the last game, there are so many petitions of so many fans pre-ordering the game and doing all this multiple copies of the game and buying so much of the game to make sure that that franchise got big enough that more of the games start coming over here because people like the game so much. Yeah. If people like your games, if people like your company, they will support you.
Oh yeah.
Don't screw them over by taking away their abilities to play used games.
Right. And that's one of those rumors that we don't know quite is true or not about the 720. Another example is this game here. This is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. This is a rare game to find. I found it by happenstance. I played a version of this, the sequel to this, Dark Alliance 2, which every gaming site tells me never existed, on my N64. Everyone tells me that that game didn't exist. I know I played a Dungeons & Dragons Baldur's Gate game on my Nintendo 64. But
I know what you're talking about.
I know. But I found it at GameStop. And I've played it. I loved it. I love it. And the fact remains, I wouldn't have remembered what the game's name was. In fact, I didn't remember for a huge amount of time what the game's name was that I played. And thanks to me just happening to run into it, not only do I remember it, I've played it again. I've had a chance to play it again. And it's great. So, used games are very useful to everybody.
But the thing is, change the pricings on what people get when they trade in a game. And maybe change slightly how used games are sold. Honestly, I think the gaming industry and the used games industry need to somehow cooperate with each other so that this whole system works better.
Yeah.
Than it is right now.
And that's one of the things we're going to have to discover. I think really as the 720 and the PS4 get closer to launch, because if the rumors for the 720 hold out and it can't play used games,
not getting a 720,
then people are going to have to. Then they're going to have to figure out what are we going to do about this. I mean, both of them are going to have to do it. But speaking of Microsoft, I suppose, I guess that's a great segue.
Wait, one more thing about Microsoft.
Yeah.
Fuck games for Windows Live.
Yes, it is horrible.
Fuck. For the longest time, I could not download the DLC for Fable 3 because it wouldn't let me. Like, every time I tried, it would crash the game, and I tried opening Windows Live on its own, it would crash Windows Live. I tried for 2 days. I restarted my computer 3 times. It went to sleep, I turned it back on after it went to sleep, and it downloaded it all. What the hell?
And you see why, after I put in 12 hours of Bioshock 2 and was unable to save, I was a little pissed. Screw Windows Live, games for Windows Live.
Do games still have that, or only older games?
Depends. We do know Demon Souls. Is that the latest one, or is it Dark Souls?
Demon Souls is the one that's coming to PC.
Okay, so that'd be Demon Souls. We'll have games for Windows Live because it's the easiest porting method. It's just what they have to do. They said they're looking into alternatives. But I don't think they'll have time to...
Okay,